how to do a proper form, it can basically get rid of any problems as far as injuries that you may have in the future. If you're just jump in and go head first without anything that you know how to do, then you're going to really have some problems.
Okay, you know what? We're talking about these late night infomercials that are so popular, and the online shopping and the shopping networks. They all seem to have these fitness items. So we wanted to kind of take a look at some of them and get reaction from the experts about what works and what really doesn't. But I also want to know what you think about all of this, because you guys are probably working out and investigating this stuff as much as we are. So we're inviting you to email your thoughts or your opinions to me. Answer these couple of questions for me. Are you swayed by the infomercials that you see? And if you are, what has worked in your opinion and what hasn't? And what do you think is the best fitness product on television? I have to tell you, not only the V90X, I love that ab roller, all those balls and everything. Those gals always have those great stomachs. I want to know if you've tried that stuff out and if it works. How you tell us what you think is to log on to csnphilly.com and then put in It's Your Call or IYC under the search. That'll take you to my webpage where you can leave me a comment. Or you can email me directly right here at the show at tcn_IYC@comcastnetwork.com. As always, you can find us on Facebook, MySpace, and YouTube as well. And it's interesting because I get a lot of feedback on Facebook, for example, about diets that people are trying, exercise programs, or particular equipment. And it's now, there's like social networking, and social media is probably getting the word out there, you know, as much as anything these days. How do you advise people, Heather, when they come to you and they say, well, I want to start a workout program? How do you advise them about food intake?
Well, there are so many different diets to choose from. To give you proof of this, simply try typing in diet in the search engine Google. I did it a couple days ago. Guess how many results I came up with?
Million.
146 million results.
Oh my gosh, we were only off by 145 million.
So needless to say, we have a few options.
Wow. But my question is, if people are interested in starting a fitness program, okay, it's the beginning of the year and they say, oh, my New Year's resolution, as always, is I'm going to get in better shape. I find that when you're really doing an intense workout that you end up being hungrier, and people are thinking that they have to cut back their calories, but in fact that's not necessarily true, is it?
Well, calorie intake is key for weight loss, because if we consume fewer calories than we burn, that's going to enable us to lose weight. Now, we can do that by eating fewer calories or burning more through exercise, but the winning combination is really to do both.
So if you're not able to commit to, let's say, a 90-day fitness program, but you want to lose weight, you should really be focusing then on your calorie intake?
Absolutely.
And then if you are involved in a fitness program, how do we feed our bodies and give them the energy that they need to be able to perform properly?
I think you want to make sure that you have a proper breakdown on percentages of protein, fat, carbohydrates, just because that's basically the fuel for your body. And depending on what you're going to be doing, if you're doing a lot of cardio versus strength training, there's a difference between how much carbs you need to take versus proteins. But you want to have a good ideal as far as a nice breakdown between the three.
Okay, we're going to talk about the strength training and cardio and what works better, or if one works better, but I have to take a quick break. We're going to find out all the pros and cons of diet programs and exercise programs when we come back. If you have questions or comments, or you want to share your success story with us, love to hear from you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Lynn Doyle's Jewelry, provided by David Craig Diamonds and Fine Jewelry, Newtown, Pennsylvania.
Transportation for It's Your Call guests provided by Preferred Car and Limousine.
Thanks for joining us once again, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle, and if you are like most people at the beginning of the year, you usually make some sort of resolution regarding your health, whether it's to eat better or to perhaps get in better shape, get up off that couch and do something. And maybe sometimes you're swayed by what you've seen on television. You know, those late night infomercials that we all see these days. I'm talking about some of the most popular products that are sold in this country today and some of the most popular diets, and we're finding out whether or not they really are giving you a great workout or if they're just working out your wallet. We have a great panel here talking about this, and right before the break, we started to talk about the difference between strength training and cardio training and whether there needs to be a combination or if one is better than the other.
There has to be a combination. You have to use both, because obviously with strength you're working more muscle. With the cardio you're working more of that circulatory system, and that's very important as well. But you also have to keep in mind what they do with strength training. You're going to elevate your metabolism anywhere between 24 to 48 hours in which you're burning calories even after you're done the workout. With cardio, it does not increase your metabolism. It will burn calories. But if there's just a steady intensity with that, you're not going to burn any more calories after the cardio session.
And Dr. Gao, you mentioned that if you do strength training or you do cardio, that perhaps the food intake that you consume during that training might have to be different. I think that might confuse people. Maybe you could clarify.
Basically, so I myself am a runner, and if I'm going to be doing a big race, you actually want to somewhat carb load beforehand, just because you're going to be burning so many calories. If you're going to be doing some strength training, when you build up muscle, at first you have to break it down, and to build that back up, you want to have some protein in there too to help with the muscle mass. So it depends on what you're doing, but you really want to have a good combination of the two. And just to point on out with Fernando, what he was saying about strengthening as well as cardio, I think you also may want to include flexibility in there too, because that's very important, especially to avoid injuries.
Yeah, boy,
Totally.
does flexibility get tougher and tougher as we get older?
Exactly.
Not that I was ever really that flexible when I was 20, but it seems like it's a whole lot harder now.
And what's interesting about flexibility is that it's one of those components that is very overlooked, but it's so important. Basically, for anyone under 35, you can kind of get away with not really doing a lot of flexibility work. Not that you shouldn't, but you can get away with it. But what happens is you have your workout and then you have flexibility work, okay? Over 35, what happens is this. The importance of that flexibility work to your results is going to be much more important, because those muscles are just going to stiffen and they're going to get tight. If they're tight, you can't perform your exercises properly. You won't maximize the benefit. So flexibility is huge. You have to stretch. You have to include that work. If you don't, you're going to limit your results.
Okay, let's talk about foods that we should be consuming when we're either strength training or combining that with cardio. What's the best thing to eat before a workout, Heather?
The best thing to have before a workout is some type of mixture of healthy carbohydrates, which are going to be your body's primary fuel for energy. And then also a small amount of protein or healthy fat is fine too. You just want to make sure you don't choose something very high in fat, because those types of foods, such as French fries, are going to sit in your stomach and slow you down.
Boy, if you have French fries and then you go to work out, you just want to smack those
That's
people.
workout
There
food
you
right
go.
there.
Exactly.
So you definitely always want to eat, though, before you work out. You don't want to work out on an empty stomach?
It's best to work out not on a full stomach, but not hungry either, finding that middle ground.
So what would that mean? Like maybe an hour or so before we work out? Should we put something in and give it time to digest?
An hour before your workout would be fantastic. Even something simple like a bowl of cereal
Right, or
with
granola
some
bar or
milk or
something, that's
yogurt and a piece of fruit.
Okay, how about afterwards? The big question in my workout group is how quickly we can get to breakfast after we're done. Are we doing the right thing, or are we defeating the purpose because we've just worked out for an hour and a half and then we go and eat?
You got to look at it from a physiological standpoint as to what your body wants, what your body needs after workout. As the doctor said, you're breaking down your body, so you need to rebuild it. So yeah, you need some protein, some carbs, some fat, but within the hour, about 60 minutes after your workout, it is key that you eat. If you don't, you can slow down your recovery anywhere between 2 to 3 days, the studies show. So
Really?
Yes. So it's so important to get that post-workout meal. If you don't get that post-workout meal, sometimes people think, oh, I'm not going to eat because I'm still burning